most teams across the country have offensive line issues. We have had Demetrius with Knox being out. Trout had a contusion where he missed a couple of days. He practiced some today. And just your numbers are way down in the offensive line. So just, and then Pat Elfline and Taylor Decker are getting very limited reps. Jacoby Bourne's out. So we counted, I think, 9 or 10 offensive linemen that will be here in August that aren't here right now. That's obviously a big influx of people. And you want to have a bad practice, have a bad offensive line. That's kind of what's going on right now. So I'll answer your questions for you.
Front row, Dave.
Coach, can you talk about some of your backup running backs, that Warren Ball, Briante Dunn, one of those guys?
Sure. Briante Dunn has made he's got a little momentum going in his world. We're taking a look at Curtis Samuel as a receiver slash H-back slash running back, so he's mixing time. He's doing both. You know, he's a guy that we've ID'd as a top 5 playmaker right now in our program. In the days of Curtis Samuel playing 10 plays or over, it's our job to get him on the field for 40 or 50 plays. And with Zeke coming back healthy and all that, and to stand on the sideline and watch Zeke play a bunch is not right. So, but I think that's what we do best. Not best, but I think that's one of the fun parts of coaching, when you got these checkers that are really attractive to you, and how you can use those guys. And he's a really good one. Today's practice, I on purpose, we're at the end. If you guys go back just from 3 years ago to now, you sit there and say, okay, who are your playmakers, 1 through 10? Which we're fortunate to have 10. Last year we had 10. They even pushed a little bit more than that this year with Evan and Devin gone. Who were those guys, and what order are they? Do they touch the football? You got your Mike Thomas. Mike Thomas, by the way, is going to have sports hernia surgery, a procedure that Shazier had and Tyus Powell had, so it's not that serious. But it's been bothering him since really, I think, the bowl game. And so Mike Thomas is certainly in there. Jalen Marshall is in there. And then you start, where's Nick Vanette fit in? Marcus Ball step up. Obviously, Zeke Elliott's way high on the list, but Curtis Samuel's not far behind, so we have to find ways to get him the ball in his hands. Noah Brown had a very, very good day too, so he's moved from 15th or whatever. But the end of spring, I'll have that. What order they're going to touch the ball.
Front row, Todd.
You keep saying about your quarterbacks, how difficult the situation is, the decision is, because you will have to watch. You've had experiences in the past where you played 2 guys. Can you imagine any way in September you have the 2 guys on the field at the same time?
Oh, I don't know about that. But you might have a specialty quarterback. That's kind of what we did in 2000. If you're referring back to 06.
Yeah.
That was kind of 2 different skill sets, 2 unique, a very unique situation. But the families were incredible. There was a very egoless approach to the game, and one quarterback drives them down, the other one comes in and goal line quarterback, but it worked. So I thought about that a little bit, but I think it's one day at a time right now, and I keep saying that. Let's get Braxton healthy, get JT as many reps as he can, and then Cardell still has played 3 games. So.
Could you elaborate? You said Briante had some momentum right now. Could you elaborate?
Yeah, it started with his special teams contributions last year. He was outstanding by the end of the year. Kind of floated around here for a couple of years and did nothing. Nothing. And getting pretty good progress reports in the classroom. Some off the field demeanors. It all seems, for those of you who raise children too, you see momentum, and you see momentum can be lost with a couple of bad decisions or mistakes, or you should go to class or something like that. He's got some momentum right now. It's showing on the field.
Front row left, Ari.
Coach, 2 questions. First of all, can you elaborate a little bit more on the Braxton situation as a care for us?
Yeah, I think, Todd, I saw him yesterday. I shouldn't comment on things I don't know about. I don't know. Other than they're telling me they think it's going to be. I think it's going to be okay. So whatever comes up, people are asking me, it's all good, it's done. And I'm like, I don't. If you ask me about that in the section, all that, I can tell you.
Okay, something you guys are still looking into?
That's our whole compliance department. It's been told to me that everything looks to be okay. We're just doing a due diligence and making sure.
completely different gears now. I know that summer is a huge thing for you guys, summer camp circuit, recruiting and whatnot, and visiting and getting guys on campus. How important is spring for maybe setting the table for some of those summer visits, and just from a recruiting standpoint, having these few weeks to have guys in engaged?
Well, the calendar's been moved up, you know, everyone, we have a bunch of commitments already, and I'm not a huge fan of that. I kind of liked it last year, we didn't have many, you get to know players better, but the good thing is the ones that have already jumped in, I know, we all know very well, and so I like to slow down the recruiting process. I love to watch them go to camp. In the perfect world, you watch them go to camp, watch them play 3 or 4 games their senior year, and say, well, he's perfect fit. Most of it, it's just the calendar has been pushed up so far because people offer scholarships now like Pop-Tarts. It's unbelievable. This kid's at this school's offered this school's offered like 40 kids in the state of Ohio. I don't know where you get 40 times whatever, you get 120 scholarships to give out. So we're a little bit slower. I like to be much slower than that. So spring, to answer your question, spring football and camp, that's a big part of recruiting, to answer your question, a huge part.
Front row right, Tim.
Yeah, Urban, follow up on that. How would you describe how you collect talent from an offensive standpoint? Or are you just looking for the best, most dangerous looking player out there, and you will fit him to your system? I mean,
yeah, the best player.
Yeah. How does that work? I mean, what are you looking for in a guy?
Well, I just talked to our team. There's 3 characteristics. That competitor is number 1, tough number 2, and go hard. And then I don't want to hear he's 5'11", we want a guy 6'1". You'll never hear that conversation. It's those 3 characteristics. If we find that, and obviously you have the God-given skill, we won't be talking about it. If he has those 3 characteristics, we're recruiting him. Noah Brown's a perfect example. He lost 24 pounds because we got him here. He's a competitor. He's a tough guy. You saw that last year as a true freshman blocking, very tough guy, and he goes hard. So we just had to say, okay, now he's a little bit too slow. He lost 24 or 25 pounds. What do you got? I don't know if you got to see much yet, but he's doing a very good job because he has those 3 qualities. So it's up to us as staff to change the offense there.
And the other thing, you spoke last year, the year. Are you seeing stuff from Tommy Shutt, from Donovan Munger, from that group that's encouraging you? What are you seeing from the defensive line group?
That's a good question. Very disappointed a year ago with the backup group. We'd like to get a rotation. Matter of fact, when I heard Mississippi State, Dan Mullen's a great friend, and he said, yeah, we're rotating 10 guys. And we had a very ugly team meeting that day, so we can't rotate 10 guys. Why do they have better players than we do? Why are they better coached than we are? Because they have to ask that question. We're Ohio State, so we should have 10 guys rotate in there. We didn't have it. So a lot of pressure's been put on them. I would say Tommy Shutt's had a very good off-season. He's cut weight. He's where we want him, and he's going pretty hard. I think Joe Hale was the other name we kind of forget about. He's really going to help us.
Yeah.
And then you got Adolphus. We're being very cautious because he's played a lot of reps. The other guys, you got Mike Hill, Munger. They show signs of it. You got John Holmes. You got Darius Slade, Sam Hubbard. They're showing signs. Taekwon Lewis is taking the other defensive end right now. He's running with the ones. So we have bodies there. But to answer your question, are they where we need them to be? No, not even close. Are they trying and they're getting better? Yes.
Did Hale approach you, or did you approach Joel about? He's already had his rose in hand.
Yeah, Joe, you just have great respect for guys. He's a competitor. He's tough and he goes hard. Now we have to just find the right place for him. And it was a mutual conversation. We have a lot of respect for Joel Hale around here.
Front row, Bill.
Pass defense last year, obviously big strides. What are you looking for this year? What have you seen so far? Obviously, a replacement.
You said pass
Pass
defense.
defense.
Oh, pass defense. Enhance it, keep going. Great strides a year ago from a year ago to now. It was awful. So great strides. And we're expanding our package a little bit. Now that we've been in it for a year and the kids know it, there's a lot of returning players. Obviously, Durant Grant's out. Eli Apple's playing really well though. Darian Conley's a bright spot. So I like our secondary. I don't like the backups very well. The ones are doing pretty well. Matter of fact, the backups aren't doing bad either. So that's an area of strength right now.
Who are the guys, the depth guys back there?
The depth on safety on Eric Smith's having pretty good. Cam Burrows is kind of a 1 because he rotates in there. And kid from Newcastle.
Malik
Well, the Cookers get better. And then you got the two corners are Gary on and Eli, and then Damon Webb. There might be one I'm missing in there.
Lattimore.
Yeah, Marshall's not full speed yet. So we got some numbers, and then we got a good group coming in.
Back row right, Clay.
Speaking of Dan Mullen, I noticed you're doing a clinic down there. How many more engagements, clinics, public appearances are you doing now because you won the national title?
Oh, I don't like doing them, to be honest with you. I do it because Dan's a friend, and we reciprocate. He's going to come up, and we go down there, and it's good for, it's a very good friend. And then I always do the Hall of Fame one, and then just selected ones, so not many.
When you do one of those, what's your topic? Do you change them? Is it offense, and then it's motivation? And what's in your wheelhouse?
In my wheelhouse? I think relate stories to whatever team it was. Our first year was about choice sacrifice time, and the next year was about can't remember. This year's more about the small unit cohesion, because that's a big part of why we won.
Last couple questions. Tom?
Coach, I have a draft question. When scouts, NFL scouts are watching, breaking down prospects, you can see what you can see on the video. If there's a guy with character issues, you can kind of look into his background. But one of the things that scouts say that is one of the hardest things to figure out sometimes is just the pure love of football. When they come to talk to you, whether it be coaches or scouts, do they ask you about that? And do you know when they come to watch if there's ways they can see that in practice?
Well, like anything, and I think it's like any. If you say who are the good recruiters, the ones that have to go find out the three components we just talked about. When Coach Belichick comes here, yes, because he's the one doing it. But I really like the coaches that come in, set time, visit with me, and find out, or visit with our strength coach about what you just said. It's amazing to me that there's been times in our career where I see kids drafted early, first round. I never talked to anybody. So I don't know, maybe the agent of the players tell them, oh yeah, he loves football, and they take it. That usually marriage doesn't last very long. And they're the ones that, the program, their organizations aren't very good. The organizations that you just said, that come in and do an A to Z on a guy and find out, do they love football? What kind of off-the-field behavior? Let me see their class attendance. All the ways that my best recruiters do. When I ask a player about, or ask our recruiter about a kid, he needs to know, does a kid go, how many classes did he miss his senior year of high school? If he's a kid that's late all the time, then guess what? You think that's going to change? And same thing in pro football. So there's some organizations that do a phenomenal job. It's A to Z, upside down, inside out, and they ask those questions. But to be quite honest with you, there's some that you don't. They draft one of your players you never hear from and say, how did they get information on this kid? And so, but those are also the ones that usually don't win a bunch of games either.
Is it part of it too that they need to know? Obviously, guys have talent to even be thought of as being recruited, but sometimes at the NFL level is the first time guys fail or take a step backwards, and that's, I would think, where your
Absolutely.
passion for the game
Absolutely.
kicks in.
Because everybody's good. Yeah, everybody's good. The Cowboys were here the other day and A to Z on a couple of our players. So yeah, I love that. I think that's great. How do you draft a player without finding out his passion for the game of football? Did he go to class all the time? And what do you do on Friday and Saturday nights when you have spare time? How do you draft a guy? And same thing I ask our coaches, how do you recruit a guy if you don't know that? Don't recruit him until you find that information out. Like I said, some recruiters I don't even have to ask. I'm getting the information. Other guys I can ask, and those aren't quite the good recruiters.
Have the Browns been pretty good coming down?
Fantastic. Not good, fantastic. I really like their head coach. He's knee deep in it.
And last question, Tony?
Last week you said Raekwon didn't have his best practice. How has he been since? And is there any concern?
Oh, no. I think I just like stirring it up a little bit with him. He's been totally so good for so long. I love Raekwon because he's been really good.
His teammates
I'll give you some bad stuff too.
Do his teammates give him that stuff too?
What's that?
Do his teammates give stuff like that as well, like crap like that? Sorry about that.
Something like that.
Coach, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.